Alright folks, what's going on? It's the old soldier coming at you again today from Robinson County, North Carolina, where it is, actually it's fairly comfortable outside today other than the wind. The wind picks up, it gets a little cool, but other than that, halfway decent day. But anyway folks, I don't know what to tell you about today. I don't know what to think about today. I would tell you, well, I ain't going to tell you anything. Try not to tell anybody to do anything. But my advice to you is if you're getting emails or messages about arrests and charges and the whole 9 yards of this has been released and that's going to happen, I'd take it and throw it right out the window, folks. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I didn't have some hopes that some of that stuff would have been true. It'd been nice, but I think we've been had. And I'm just going to put it out there just the way it is. And if I misled anybody, I apologize now. So what do we do now, folks? Well, for me, I don't plan to take this sitting down. Like I've been telling y'all for the last few days, get your networks going. Because if things happen the way we're being told they're going to happen, as far as legislation, a lot of our liberties and freedoms are going to be challenged and checked, and we as conservatives, and I'll throw libertarians in there as well. I don't agree with everything with libertarians, but I respect their views and beliefs on our liberties and freedoms. But we're about to see mass suppression, the likes of which you've never seen before, folks. And anybody out there that voted for Biden and the whore Harris, well, don't come crying. You're getting exactly what you asked for. And therefore, you're getting exactly what you deserve. And I don't want to hear you cry about anything when your freedoms are usurped and you come out and you say, well, I voted for him. How can he do this? Well, one, it ain't him. Joe Biden ain't smart enough to lead himself out of a paper sack with an arrow pointing out, okay? Or as they all used to say, he ain't smart enough to pour piss out of a boot with the instructions written on the bottom. We all know that Joe ain't a smart man, never has been. He's been a smart aleck, okay? We know he's a liar, okay? We know he's a plagiarist. We know his son is a crackhead and a pedophile. And it just goes to show that evil has won today. Does that mean it has to win forever? No. And again, I told y'all before I wouldn't preach to anybody on this channel, and I won't start now. I just will say this. If you believe in God, talk to Him. Get back into His Word. See what it is that He tells you. Because, I've had preachers and ministers, fellow deacons tell me, really need to turn the other cheek. We really need to do this. Yeah. But I also believe that you only turn your cheek so many times before you got to stand and defend what you've been given as a responsibility by God. If you have a family, you have a responsibility to protect them, to defend them. you can't always turn the other cheek. Now, I'm not going to disclose everything that I've got going on and things that I'm doing, especially not on this platform that's being monitored, because that's the other thing. Some of y'all are commenting. I can see your comments in the notifications, but then when I go to pull them up, they're no longer there. If I go into the studio portion of YouTube and I try to find them in the held for whatever, I'm not finding them. So that tells me that YouTube's monitoring this channel, just even for the minuscule number of followers I've got. So anything that's 2A, freedom-loving, conservative, God-fearing, they're monitoring. And mark my words, they're going to do everything in their power to shut us down. And that brings me to my next point. Many people say, well, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, they're all private companies and platforms. This is true. This is very true. I won't contest that one bit with you. Won't argue that one bit with you. And why am I saying that? Because, you know, there are people's channels and accounts that have been suspended, terminated, blocked. Okay? Here lately, I've been getting warnings on Facebook for some of the things I'm commenting on. Just the comments I'm making. Alright? But yet, the left, the communists, are allowed to say, do anything. Remember, I've told you a few months ago, the left will marginalize and then demonize. Remember those two words, marginalize and demonize. Okay? Once you grasp a better idea of that, it makes it easier to see truly what's going on. Now, they say that the numbers are not completely, totally in favor of the left in Congress and Senate. That, you know, they don't have quite full control in the Senate, nor the House. They won't be able to do these so-called, have to have 2/3 of the House, whatever their rules are. But here's the thing. Nancy Pelosi's already shown that she does not even care about the rules her party has established. That she's willing to ignore them when they do not apply to her. Okay? So don't sit there and think that they'll keep the rules the way they are. They will simply go in and they will change them. And pardon my language, all others be damned. Okay? So, they're going to play this game that now that we've got all three houses, executive, Senate, and the House, we'll say 4 because they pretty much got the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court just sat on their laurels doing this whole thing. Okay? And they're going to change them to their benefit. And if if that doesn't work for them, they'll change it again until they get their way. Okay? It's a communist tactic and it's a communist ploy. Right? The Chinese communists used it in 1946 when Chiang Kai-shek, the nationalist leader, was trying to establish a democratic government in China. Well, the communist Chinese were not opposed to it. But at the same token, they didn't want the rules to apply to them, so they just, pouted like a little kid until they got their way. And that, my friends, is what we're up against and what we must fight back against. How you choose to do that, that's between you and your maker. I've got things going on that my way of dealing with it. But I would, again, like I said, get with your like-minded individuals, develop your networks, your teams, okay? You look and see what's going on in your community. Challenge any and everything that happens in your town, in your community, in your state. See, old Uncle Joe, Molester Joe, has already stated the first 100 days he's going to issue a 100-day mandatory mask mandate. Now, I've had this argument here before, and again, my beliefs is, if you think a mask works, put it on. I'm not wearing one. If you think the vaccine's going to work, go get it. Me, ain't taking it. And now there's rumors in some places that some communities are going to try and make it mandatory that everybody take it. You mark my words, the Communist Party of America, which the media calls the Democrats, are going to try and make it to where you have to carry something everywhere you go to show proof that you've had an inoculation, which violates HIPAA to the nth degree. So y'all keep that in mind. Now, not that it's going to do any good, but I called my senator, my state senator, and my congressional representative, demanding, not asking, demanding, that they already start investigating Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that they start looking at ways to impeach, charge, and try those two treasonous rat bastards, pardon my language, for anything and everything that they can. And of course, Representative Dan Bishop's office was, I don't know what the congressman, I don't think he's done anything that I said, well, I'm not asking you to ask him. I'm telling you, I'm demanding that he do something and start drafting articles of impeachment against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I got the summary. Well, I'll pass this on to the congressman. Good day, click. So I'm gonna call him again tomorrow with the same demands. Probably just, I'm probably spinning my wheels, but they'll know who my name is by the end of the month. And I'll close out with this again, folks. Like I said before, and I'm going to say it one more time. All it takes for evil to win is for good men to sit idly by and do nothing. And I, for one, am tired of sitting. And in the coming months, weeks, days, we'll all find out what that means. Until then, y'all stay safe, stay armed, stay vigilant. And yeah, YouTube, I said armed. It means carry firearms, guns. Yeah, YouTube, guns, guns, guns. So all you YouTube monitors watching this channel, guns are cool. Guns are for self-protection. They're a right given to us by the Second Amendment. It says, shall not be infringed, YouTube. So I might get shadow banned, I don't know. But anyway, I had to do that for monotony breaker, folks. I'm just a little irate today. Anyway, anyhow, folks, y'all be safe, stay vigilant, stay armed. Old soldier out.